Okay everybody, this is a bit of an emergency. Baby Yoda is a bit too cute and we have to draw him now. So how do we do it? I like to start with the few basic shapes that make up a character, just to break it down. So with Baby Yoda we have a circle, two triangles on the side of the head. It's kind of more of a squished circle in the middle, oval. Then you have this giant rectangular collar and pretty much a square or trapezoidy type of body shape, and then two little almost squares at the side. Boom, there you go. Baby Yoda, done. So let's try it for real. So let's make a big squished kind of circular shape. This will be the head, of course, and then you have these big triangles, big beautiful ears at the side. They kind of end up going to the top and bottom of the head all the way. So let's do it again here. Sometimes they're pointing kind of downward. So let's try that. So I'll make the triangle first, but I kind of started doing it already, but the actual shape from the point of the ear to the base kind of goes out a little bit. There's a bit of a curve actually. And same with this one. But the top is pretty much a straight line. Then you have your big rectangle. It's this giant piece of clothing on this tiny little thing. And then we have the big potato sack that Baby Yoda is walking around in all the time with the little sleeves. But okay, most of the time you're gonna spend on the face, trying to capture the cuteness of this little guy. Is it possible? I don't know, but let's try it out. So you see how I divided the face in half. That's just to kind of get a guide as to how to place all the features. You've probably seen a lot of people do this. So that's just to kind of get a idea of the direction he's facing. So here he's kind of slightly looking to the side. So now, as we divided this in half as well, we can find the place to put those big, beautiful eyes. I'm sure you've noticed Baby Yoda's got these very big eyeballs that definitely contribute to the cuteness factor. Tiny head, big eyes. That's a good formula for something being super adorable. So you could leave a little bit of space in between the two eyes. They're not too close together, because right in between, almost directly in the middle, maybe slightly below, is this little nose, a little button nose. You don't have to add too much detail, but you could kind of just hint that it's there. And then as for the mouth, tends to have this kind of a frown. So a little of the way down, just kind of, it's like a sad face. He's not sad necessarily, but that's just how his face is shaped. And then above the eyes as well, he doesn't quite have eyebrows, but there is a shape of a brow above the eye. So you could kind of follow the line of the eyeball here, the top line, and just kind of replicate it twice to kind of get that eyebrow shape. And then the rest of his head is all wrinkly and full of bumps. It's kind of like an old man mixed with a baby. So when you're detailing the eyeballs, actually, it's pretty much almost a complete black eye because the pupil is so huge. But you can kind of separate the pupil from the whites of the eye right in the corner there. But it's almost entirely dark. You could get into the iris and the pupil and all this, but what I'd just do would be make just a little circle or rectangle shape just to kind of indicate where the highlights will be, so that when you're coloring in the rest, you can leave that part out and that'll kind of make it look like lights bouncing off of the eyeball, which makes it look a little more alive than if it was completely black. It would look a little freaky. So try that. You could add a little iris if you like. Color the pupil in a little darker. And then I guess for the ears, we can add a little detail as well. There's a ridge here and a little bit of some depth inside. So I just kind of accomplished that by drawing a line pretty much parallel to this top line of the ear, and then a small bump beside the head. And same thing on the other side. There you go. Then you could color this in, shade it in a little bit, just to show that there's some depth there. And the bottom of his chin just kind of goes into shadow, so you could add some shading there as well, just to get that effect. And then the rest is basically just cloth. You could use your rectangle that you've set up and just kind of add some folds and some variation in the lines. Fabric is pretty forgiving. It takes a little bit of getting used to drawing folds and fabric, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. But it's not too difficult, just a little bit of lines going behind other lines. And then I think there's like a little, like a coat kind of piece here. So because the clothes are so big, you don't really see the feet or the hands. Sometimes his little fingers will pop out and they're just kind of like little claws. So you can draw that sometime. I keep saying he. Is this is Baby Yoda he? I'm not sure if we know the gender of Baby Yoda. But there you go. That's basically it. So you can play around with it. As you can see, this is a very sketchy drawing of the character. But that's how I like to do it. You just don't be too rigid, but be very loose with it. See if you could find the shapes in there. And as I would add more detail to this, I would get rid of the construction lines, add a bit more shading, maybe color it, maybe ink it out with a pen. But once you have these basic shapes, you can put the character in any position that you want. Say you don't want him standing forward, but you want him looking down or peeking around a corner or something like that. So maybe I'll just show a few examples quickly of what else you can do with this same character, and then see what happens. there you go, guys. Try it yourself. Don't be too worried about details, but as you can see how I did it, just kind of really be light with your pencil or pen, whatever you're using. Just try and find those lines, see if you could capture the character as you would like, and then go in later and work in all the details. And maybe as an ending, I will show you one of these where I do that. Maybe I'll color it or something. How about this one, the first one we did? But other than that, let me know what you guys thought. See what other characters, or let me know what other characters you might want to draw together in the future. And this is a new channel for me, so let me know what you think. And until next time, take care.